Fuck yeah, I love that goddamn song. Chris, when we start doing WrestleShoot after hours, can you imagine that audio pumping out over a big ass PA system in front of a live hot crowd?
Lots of live people there. That'd be great, man.
It'll be fucking awesome. Welcome back to WrestleShoot. I'm Rob Wild. Of course, I am joined by the lovely, the talented, the man, the only man who can make those sunglasses look good, my hetero life mate, Chris Casa fucking Nova.
Love that introduction. Thank you very much,
That was a
Rob
good one.
Wild.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So listen, before we get started with today's going to be a fun topic. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. We're going to talk about wrestlers who are very familiar with what the inside of a prison cell looks like.
Why is it near and dear?
Well, because we all know that Rob doesn't necessarily have the cleanest past. Maybe Rob has spent a little bit of time on the inside. Might have been narcotics based. Ringing a bell, buddy?
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, it's been a long day. Had to catch up there.
All right. So before we do, though, this is the Antisocial Network, man. Thanks for fucking hanging out with us here on WrestleShoot. And, Chris, I think it's time to just give a little bit of a mention to what we usually do on Monday nights around here. Let's play that spot real quick. Fuck yeah. That's right. That is Ghosted. We do it Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a shitload of shows over here, people. Come on over here. Come on over at Real Antisocial here on Facebook. Give us a like. Give it a follow. I mean, what the fuck do you have to lose, right? Support your boys here. We could use it. We could use some love.
I'd have to ask a question, though. Was Doug singing to you in that video? That picture of you guys?
Don't fucking worry about it. That's between me and Doug.
It looked like he was singing to you, and you were kind of smiling, and I don't know what kind of song it was. Maybe it was a love song.
Dude, he rocked my soul. What's it to you?
Okay, I don't know. I was just making sure.
Christ. Judgmental
question.
Shit. And why don't you put on some better sunglasses? Anyway, we got somebody who's going to hang out with us today who also has a little bit of familiarity with what it looks like on the inside of those dirty ass fucking walls. Like you've driven by a jail and a prison. You've seen how filthy the outside walls are, right?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, dude, you can't even imagine what it's like inside. Let's bring her on our very own DOC. Brother
what
man.
Up?
What up, player?
Doctor.
How are you guys?
I'm just getting ready for the time. And it kind of stinks because it didn't dawn on me until like 30 minutes before we went on that maybe we should have done this show next week, and we should have focused this week on wrestlers who held public office. Duh.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a good one.
It would have been
There's been a few.
Really?
And who knows? Maybe in 4 years we will happen to be running on election night again, and we could do it then.
Sounds like a plan. I'm there.
Jesus Christ! Not even anybody gave me a Twitter. You guys fucking suck, man.
I'd vote for you, Rob.
I didn't ask for you to vote for me.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were running in 4 years.
I mean, if anybody votes for fucking Trump, they should vote for me, right? I mean, I know he's got more convictions than I do, but I've got more common sense. And I don't have brain farts on stage when I'm talking either. It's all about the oil and the terrorism, and then we're going to go to think about it. It's bigly. We're going to then think about it. Just try to think about it. Try to run that. Fuck that, dude. If he could do it, I could do
it. Sure, brother.
Sure, brother. What do down there, brother? Hey, fuck you, Jimmy. So, all right, let's go ahead. And I got to say, Chris, like I was just telling you, Doc, I was just telling Chris a few minutes ago before we went on air that I have not done so much show prep since I was on WrestleShoot on the actual radio with Michael Porter 73 years ago. It's pretty fucking wild.
That's cool. That's a good thing. Keep him busy.
Man, dude. Yeah, because I lack busyness.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So let's get started with our first guy to be featured on the list here. We're going to bring up son of a bitch, Chris.
Yeah. This is a great one to talk about here.
So this guy developed a pretty bad cocaine habit and then kind of became the Tony Montana of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and kept that town in its supply of cocaine, was arrested, convicted on several felony charges, and currently he is hosting WrestleShoot.
Can we see that picture again?
No. Go fuck yourself. All right, here we go. So let's get down to it. Finding pictures that I could rip off the internet of this guy was kind of difficult, but let's get into Hard Body Harrison. Yeah, fucking Harrison Norris. This guy was a bodybuilder. He was a soldier. He was a WCW quote superstar. After that, he actually went on to Tough Man, the FX fighting competition where he managed to win the championship over there.
Wow.
So what was he convicted of, you might ask? Well, let's get some opinion. Chris, what was he convicted of, do you think?
I don't know too much about him, but I saw something recently. He was like women's slavery or some shit, like sexual slavery. All these women like
survey says ding 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 sexual trafficking. Give that man a fucking cigar. He also was convicted of promoting prostitution and kidnapping via terroristic threats. Now, who knows where exactly it all went wrong for this guy, but on my research, it looks like it kind of never went right. He was one of those undeserving characters that were just given boatloads of opportunity, but was really not deserved. But at the end of the day, he was sentenced to not one, but 2 life sentences with no parole. Hard Body Harrison will never be a free man again. So let's get into it, fellas. What do you think?
Go ahead,
oh man, that's when people do that shit. I don't get it, man. I don't get the sexual slavery and all that shit. It's fucked up.
People like him get stuck in prison.
Yeah, that's where they need to be. Hopefully he's getting.
No, I mean get stuck in prison.
Oh yeah.
Which stuck?
Like stuck.
Stuck. Oh. There could be that could be taken 2 ways. We're talking about prison.
Well, it could be taken 3 ways. He could be getting stuck in a whole different way.
Yeah.
Don't drop the soap.
Well, yeah.
Well, we didn't really.
With it. Yeah,
right.
So 3 ways. You're right. I gotcha.
Where I was at, we didn't call that getting stuck. We call that getting stuffed.
Getting stuffed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, you hear motherfucker got stuffed today? Ew. That sucks.
Yeah. Gross. Glad it wasn't me.
You got any opinion on this situation, Chris?
It's just fucking weird, man. I don't know where people just go wrong in their lives to fucking do shit like this. I heard something like these women were so brainwashed that they would go to the shows with him and just hang out.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
It's fucking crazy. Like
it is.
Like
it's not that they were brainwashed, I think, so much as they were just terrified to try to fuck around.
But fucking, you're out in public. That's just so weird, man. How does someone get that, whatever you call it, terrified, brainwashed? Like, how? Like,
if he says, if you fuck around, I'll have your kids killed. You never know what that does to somebody.
Yeah. Hurting family members and shit.
Yeah.
Because you'd always think that they would just like run up to somebody and be like, "Hey, this motherfucker's kidnapped me," or I'm whatever, and they never say nothing. I forgot what was that one girl's name? She was famous, young chick. She got kidnapped, and the guy was like, it was a guy and his wife, and they were like
Jean Benet.
Who was it?
Jean Benet Ramsey.
No, this one, she was like 14, maybe 12, 14. He kidnapped her and said he was going to kill her family and all that shit. And nobody, she was out in the public with them. They were homeless, walking around, and he was like a preacher, like a homeless preacher guy. Kind of looked like Jesus a little bit, if I remember right. And she was out in the streets, and even the cops were like, they had her separated, and they were talking to her, and like, she never said anything. She's like, yeah, that's my dad, that's my mom, and then they wound up figuring it out and busted both of them.
Misbehaving chimes in saying it's a real thing, and it is. Stockholm.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, I don't know. I guess it is. I mean, fuck, you know. But,
well, it is a real thing, and it's the brain's defense mechanism. If you're being held in a bank full of other prisoners, and you feel like, well, these guys like me, I better like them, I better endear, they might not fucking kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
it makes sense. I mean, you hear a bunch of stories like that. So, I mean, it's got to be, it has to be a real thing. I mean, not debating it.
Ready to move on to the next?
Yeah.
Yep.
This cunt is exactly where she needs to be. It's like when she took that photo, she knew forever, I'm going to be wearing prison orange. All right, so Tammy Sitch is a horrible human being. Like from the top of her empty fucking head right down to the bottom of the feet that she stepped on Chris Candido with. I fucking hate Tammy Sitch. Never liked her. Never liked her. After her 4th DUI arrest and the subsequent accident she had where she killed a grandfather, her blood alcohol was right here, five times the fucking legal limit. She didn't even know that she did crash and kill somebody. And that was her 4th DUI, her 4th out of the 5 DUIs in as many years. So every year she was getting a new DUI until she killed the guy. And somehow this snarfy gutter slut only got 17 years in prison.
Wow.
For killing somebody as a habitual offender. She only got 17 years.
Wasn't she waiting for a court date? She was supposed to go to court for the other DUI, and then she was out on bond and wound up killing that fucking guy. Mm-hmm. That should have been life.
And all this is going to happen when she eventually gets out, because it wasn't one of those 17 years straight time. So you know she's eligible for parole and at least at the least 8 years. So she'll sit in the can for 8 fucking years. Maybe she'll actually do a sit-up, because boy, did she get fat and disgusting.
Yeah. She did. I saw pics of her too.
Oh man, we booked her once for a signing, and it was kind of a last minute, can we throw Tammy into this thing? So we did. When she showed up, she was not only disgusting and offensive on absolutely every level, she looked like Jabba the Slut.
Really?
Just a big fat pig with way too much makeup on. You can almost hear her at her little signing table going, oh, 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 oh.
And she had Rob on a little chain on his neck so she can pull him back. Rob was
you know exactly what happened that day. That's the day that me and Adam Thorstow kind of buried the hatchet. And he's like, oh my God, is Sonny really here? And I was like, yeah, bro, but you don't really. And he just fucking hauled ass inside, came out 5 minutes later, just going, fuck, man. Like, I tried to tell you, bro. You were too fast. I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
Because, I don't ever charge the boys to go meet the names. Go ahead. Go in there and meet them. But, oh, man, he was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
She was far from the heavenly bodies, man.
A gutter slut right up Doc's alley. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Misbehaving, coming in hot.
Days.
Coming in. Shot after shot after shot on this one.
I think that was the first one. All right, let's move on to somebody who I actually thought was going to really, really go somewhere. And I think everybody did. I was actually a fan of the Velveteen Dream. An absolute,
I remember him.
Absolute top shelf. He was just great. So by taking a look at him here, let's go ahead and take Chris. You guessed last. Doc, what do you think he was convicted of?
I'm gonna say drugs.
Absolutely. Survey says co-fucking-cane.
I was gonna
We
say
got-
crack, but I decided to just say
Well,
drugs.
I think that's probably right because he was arrested for cocaine, paraphernalia, tampering with, and destroying evidence. Now we all know what kind of a sentence that has for anybody. Not even talking about a black man, but just for
Yeah.
anybody, right? This judge gave this guy such a mad, passionate love shot that he was sentenced to 12 months of supervised probation, being
What
drug
the
tested twice a month.
Wow.
That was it.
When was this?
Wow.
This was in 2020.
Yeah, that's when they started to change all that.
Well, then in 2021, he found himself back in front of that same judge because he went to a gym and was asked to leave by the manager, and he didn't. He proceeded to wreck up the fucking joint and actually physically assaulted one of the trainers there. So
Damn.
then he was back in front of the judge for that, who combined his two charges and set it for trial. Before trial came, he was back in front of that judge again for another assault case and trespassing.
Wow.
And now here's what's really going to kick you in the balls. I can't find anything else on this. Since 2022, it just keeps saying his trial is pending. I can't find anything else
Yeah.
on it.
Wow.
But I do know he has been in more trouble for harassing women, such things like that. Just the little bullshit things. You go, oh, that's a dirtbag move. And it is. But when you have that kind of a record pending, it should
Yeah.
be huge. But it hasn't been huge for him. I don't get it.
Wow.
What do you think, Chris?
I think he's a piece of shit.
I can definitely speak to cocaine addiction. And I understand that it makes the abnormal seem normal. And it makes the confounded bullshittery of your addiction seem reasonable. And you convince yourself that you're happy no matter what kind of shitbag things you're fucking doing. You never admit that you're wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's one thing. But going to a gym and assault an employee, give me a break, dude. See, no matter.
I would be willing to bet he was
I just
coked
find
up.
that as an excuse. I just find that as an excuse to act like a fucking fool.
I wonder why they asked them to leave.
I would assume he probably showed up coked up.
Yeah, ripping lines in the toilet or something.
Or just showing up, it's like, blah, 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 like no, you got to go. Like,
Yeah.
because all these fucking wrestlers, if they walk up to a gym, they go, yes, please come on in and work out. No
Yeah,
problem.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
He probably tried that. The manager went, Jack, you're not coming up in here. You're too much of a liability, if nothing else.
Yeah.
It's like a bar, right? You're too drunk. People are going to throw you out because you're drunk. Oh, no, no more drinking for you. Out. Like, I'm not serving
Yeah.
you. It's the same thing. But so they saw something that was sketchy and
Was off.
So he's kind of a scumbag. He is. He's kind of a scumbag. And, like Ms. B says, the demons take over. And if the demons are happy, then you're convinced that you're fucking happy.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Even though once you get sober and you look back on it, you go, oh my God, I was so fucking miserable. How did I not know? That's because the demon wasn't miserable.
No.
But people can overcome it, though. Look at Jake. Look at all these people that have made a choice finally in their life and overcame it.
Look at
personal choice at the end of the day.
Not Jake. This guy. Fuck Jake's not here. Fuck Jake. Look at this guy. This guy did it. That guy right there. He did it. We did it.
Well, there you go. Personal choice. You got two people on the show. Personal choice.
I actually think today is my 5 years off of cocaine.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. That's what you need.
I know it's in November. The big one is the heroin. We just celebrated 14 years off dope.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. That is pretty awesome. Wait a minute.
That's fucking great, man.
Who is that? Josh, I don't know who you're asking me who is what. If you're asking who we're talking about right now, it's Velveteen Dream from NXT. And that was, a while ago. He was on fucking NXT. Let's get into the next guy. And Chris, I have a personal loathing for this gentleman, although he is an absolute 5-star general in the ring. Everywhere else, he's just a giant fucking huge piece of garbage, and that's Teddy Hart. Teddy Hart's a piece of fucking shit. He just is, man. I mean, okay. So he basically he's another one with a massive drug problem. And I'm actually gonna refer to my notes on this one. Hang on a second.
Wow.
So he was arrested in Florida for an open medical weed container. He also got caught with a large bag, like a large bag, filled to the top of MDMA, 4 separate vials of pills, several smaller bags of MDMA, and cocaine. So basically, obviously, what they're trying to nail him with is possession with intent.
Yeah.
Typically, I would have said, fuck possession with intent. He's a sick person. But if he did have a bunch of smaller ones bagged up, that's pretty fucking telling right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
for sure.
I know even users, they'll come see their dealer and they'll pick up a couple of bags, so maybe even a ball, right? They'll get a little bit. They're not going to get a big bag and then a whole bunch of little fucking bags. Obviously,
no.
he's got his mother bag and then he's got his cell bags. I mean, what the fuck? And I just can't fucking stand him. I think he's just a shitty fucking person. But that being said, if he is convicted, he's basically looking at 25 to 40 years in state prison.
Holy
And then, of
fuck.
course, and of
Wow.
course, parole. Well, you know what? When you are trying to sell cocaine, they get you for possession with intent of cocaine.
Yeah.
If I get caught with cocaine, weed, MDMA, pills, all that
Yeah,
other
yeah.
shit, well, that's not just one charge of possession with intent anymore. There's even conspiracy charges that fall into that one because you took the
Yeah.
time to separately package up so many different drugs.
That's
Yeah,
just
that's
wild.
crazy.
Yeah.
So how many years did he get again?
He's not convicted yet. This is all going down in Texas. And if convicted, based on the Texas statute, he's looking at 25 to 40 years.
So I know a guy
Okay.
that got busted hauling weed from Mexico to Texas, and they offered his first offer. I knew 2 people actually that were busted out there. Texas sucks. They offer you like 25 years to begin with. That's
Yeah.
like, it was like the first offer, like 25 years if you go to trial. And then they wound up getting like the one guy, it was his first offense, it was weed, and they wound up giving him like probation or something, or felony probation or some shit. But the first offer was 25 years in prison. Like, god damn, dude.
Well, what do they say? They say football in prison. That's what Texas does.
Yeah.
That's just wow, man. So this guy could get 25 years, but Sonny gets 17 years for killing somebody.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, where's the fairness to that?
Yeah.
I can't. There's no way around it.
You're right.
Yeah. No,
And
it's
that
fucked
also
up.
has a lot to do with political affiliations. Like when Sonny got yanked up in California, it's very fucking blue, very liberal, very, you shouldn't actually have to pay for your crimes. And there's Texas, very red, very, no, you're going to overpay for your crimes. We got to find that happy fucking medium.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist, but it needs to exist.
Sure.
Nothing is fair. You are right as rain about that. So this next one is somebody you guys might remember, but probably not. He was never really, like a guy. He was just on TV getting his little pushes. And that's going to be his name. His gimmick was the Nightmare Ken Wayne. You guys remember that name?
I do not.
Okay.
Oh,
That is all right. Let me show you what the Nightmare actually looks like. Yeah.
looks
That's
like
the
Joe
Nightmare fucking Ken Wayne. So the Attorney General of Desto County right here in Florida and the Federal Cyber Crimes Commission found literally
Hey, Rob.
thousands. What?
Is that a work? It looks like Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Well, when they took his electronic devices. They found literally thousands of child porn images and videos on this fucking guy's computer.
Wow.
So this is something else I'm going to refer to my notes on because the sentencing on this was really, really bizarre. So he was sentenced to 5 years straight time in prison. 15 years after release of strictly supervised parole, with the first year of that parole to be served in a transitional housing, like tens of thousands of dollars in fines to the victim's funds, and a life order to remain on Megan's list as a sexual child predator. So that's really how it played out for him in the end. So his career is over. Like if he even tries to walk into a locker room, he's fucking dead before the
It's
door.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the nightmare Ken Waynes.
How long ago was that they sentenced him?
Oh, that was like 10 years. Wait, hang on. I got that in here. I was like 10 years ago.
Wow. I'm surprised because I know like lately I've seen where they got a guy who he put a video camera in his bathroom and his girlfriend's daughter was young, maybe 11 or 12, and he was taking pictures of her and she didn't know nothing had happened, but they gave that motherfucker like 75 years, dude.
As they should everybody who does that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that he only got 10 years. Wow.
Yeah, but if you think about it, in that case, it's maybe looked at a little bit differently because this was an intended target, is what that guy did. Yeah. He set up the camera with the intention to get that particular girl doing particular.
Oh yeah, I guess I never thought of it that way.
Sometimes you got to think outside the box.
He should have been beaten to death, is what I believe. So
well, that's what's shocking the fuck out of me is that he just got to go ahead and just walk right on out the door after only 5 years. I'm surprised he was allowed to walk out the door.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. That's fucking crazy.
I do not know if that's the same thing that Buck did time for. I'd be interested to look into that and find out, though. And now, Chris, here is one of your favorite people in the wrestling business. And this really isn't that stimulating, but when I saw his name when I was doing my research, I had to grab Hannibal. Your favorite fucking guy. So this guy was picked up in Canada for a domestic assault with egregious bodily injury of his girlfriend at the time. He was released from jail under the supervision of his parents. Now, this case is kind of unique because only a year prior to that offense happening, he got busted in the great state of Texas for beating the fuck out of another girlfriend.
Gosh.
Now, I've never heard anybody tell me, Hannibal's a tough guy. He might be, I don't know, but tough guys don't beat on fucking women. And we've always said Hannibal was a piece of trash, and he fucking is.
Yeah,
that's fucked up, dude.
That's almost as like putting almost the same level as a child molester, maybe slightly below.
Yeah, either way,
beating on a girlfriend? No, come on.
Either way, you're still getting fucked in prison for it.
That's right.
Yeah,
they don't like getting stuffed, buddy. Either way, you're getting stuffed. Anyway, if he is convicted, and this is under Canada law, if he is convicted and if Texas transfer the charges to Canada, he's looking at 25 years in prison. Yet Sunny is only doing 17, and she'll probably only do 8.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude, with her.
And she doesn't have anything. She's such a drunk. She's such a drug addict. She didn't say fucking anything. She resorted to doing really poorly made porn. Trying to ride China's, wave of success in that industry. And she didn't pull it off, man. She's a fucking skunk. Good God. I saw part of her video, and I was like, I don't think my stomach feels well.
I think she pawned the Hall of Fame ring, too.
Oh yeah,
auctioned,
of course,
auctioned
of
off
course.
or something.
So we're gonna have the Battle of the Bretts next. The first one up on the list is going to be none other than the $1 million baby Brett DiBiase. And I'm sure you both know what's going on with this guy, but a lot of our viewers might not. So his charges basically were siphoning millions of dollars from the Mississippi Temporary Assistance from Needy Families Fund, billing the charity for fees and services that were never ever provided. He wasn't even in the country on billing dates. He was supposed to be giving people coming out of drug and alcohol recovery support and guidance. Now, several others have already been convicted of this before they went to him. It's really just bad for him. Now, I know he did plead guilty to that, and that was fine. They gave him some kind of a probation and a bunch of fines, but then it was reopened on a federal level. So if he's pinched this time, he's looking at 15 years in the can.
Wow.
And
Wasn't
these
Ted-
charities, what?
Wasn't his dad wrapped up into that too? Wasn't
He was, but they released Ted from that pretty quickly.
I heard about that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I remember when it went down, we're like, "Oh fuck, is Teddy going to prison? This is
That-
not good." I mean,
yeah,
the kids
I
can
remember.
go. Fuck them. Especially Brett, because let's be honest, right? Brett's a dick, right? Anybody who steals from welfare is a dick.
Yeah.
And the official number looks like is $4.15 million that he stole from a charity that
Holy
was
fuck.
designed to support families in need and crisis.
Wow.
That explains how he was out of the country all the time. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, totally, dude. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to. Okay. All right, so this is the next Brett. Now, this guy is Brett Johnson, aka the Enforcer. I've never heard of him. I could not find a single photo online of him. After reading his story, I remembered hearing about the story, following the story, but no idea what this guy looks like. So, in lieu of a picture, I have selected Scott from South Park because, as we
Hey,
all know,
guy.
Love it.
as we all know, Scott's a giant dick. So he was convicted of brutally murdering his girlfriend, getting hemmed up right after it happened, leading the police on a multi-county fucking chase before they finally got him. But the brutality of the crime literally garnered national attention. The entire fucking country suddenly knew who this guy was for about 2 minutes, right?
Wow.
Ricky, my dude. What's up, homeboy? Everybody say hi to Ricky.
What up, Rick?
That's right. Where the fuck is Mickey? God damn it!
I think you pissed him off.
Who am I gonna? No, that's the thing. Is I didn't piss him off. We made up. Like we found common ground politically. So now I think he just doesn't want to come on here and bash my balls because he can't bring himself to do it.
Mickey, come back and bash Rob's balls and misspell.
No, bash Chris's fucking little tiny miniature balls.
And then misspell every word you fucking say on here.
That's right, every fucking word. Now, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. I remember when I was a kid, and I was very, very new in the wrestling business. I was thrown in the El Dorado County Jail for about, I think I did a 30-day fishing trip up there. And there was this cat running around there telling everybody that he was a big-time pro wrestler known all over all the territories, and he wrestles under the donk. And then somebody walked up to me and goes, "Hey, aren't you Rob Wilds?" And I said, "No." He goes, "No, you are." I said, "All right. Do you know this donk guy?" So that's the stupidest fucking name I ever heard in my life, donk. What are you talking about? So I walked up to this guy and I sat down in front of him and said, "Hey, donk, you know who the fuck I am? Because I don't know who the fuck you are." And he goes, well, no, I don't know who you are. So that's how I know you're not a fucking wrestler. Because there's dudes in this very fucking pod who have seen me live. No one's ever heard of you, donk. So here's what's going to happen, brother. You're going to quit telling people in here that you're a pro wrestler, or I'm going to fucking stretch you in front of the entire fucking pod. And he just started reading for the next, I don't know, 29 days that I was there or whatever. I went to him the first day. I was like, fuck you, dude.
Huh.
He's like, oh, yeah, I used to tour with Matt Bourne. Dude, Matt Bourne would have fucking murdered you. Matt Bourne should have murdered me, but he would have definitely murdered you. Okay. So what I want to get into our last guy here, and everybody might grab a little bit of interest in this one. Not all stories that we hear about celebrities trying to do heinous things are necessarily wrong, right? I mean, can we agree on that? There might be some real good reasoning behind it.
I would agree
Well,
with that.
It could be.
as we all remember, former UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez was arrested for
Yeah.
attempted murder. What a lot of people figured out over the course of things was somebody he thought was a family friend did in fact molest his son.
Damn.
When he found out about this, he didn't go UFC, I'm going to go pound this guy out. He ran to his family. He felt completely defeated. Felt like he let his family down. He failed as a man, and he was really reeling from this. Then he finds out just a couple of months later that the gentleman who was in jail for molesting his son was released to house arrest pending trial. And the man snapped, and he basically grabbed his pistola, went to the guy's house, and went to shoot him. Missed 2 shots, hit him on one of the shots in the arm. Guy got to his fucking car, bolted. So immediately the ankle monitor is set off, right? And that's going to let probation and police know that you have broken your tether. And now they're able to track you, which is more than likely what dude was counting on. Like, you guys got to get to me before this guy gets to me.
Yeah.
So they took Velasquez into custody, where he sat in jail being held on no bond for 205 fucking days.
Wow.
Again, 205 days with no bond, and the trial had not yet even happened. Most states have what's called the 160-day rule. If you don't at least set a trial by 160 days of incarceration, you have to let him go and you have to acquit him. Most states operate under that principle. Apparently not in this one, because
I
this
didn't know
happened
that.
in Florida. And Florida's just going to hold you for as long as they want to hold you.
Damn.
Now, I have been unable to find out if this thing has been resolved yet, if he got any time for it yet. I don't know where this is at. What I do know, hands fucking down, is you talk to any fucking guy out there and say, what would you do if somebody molested your child? Their first go-to reaction is, oh, I'd kill him. Oh, I'd kill him. Well, this incident forced everybody, every man and woman, to look inside of themselves and to question their own moral caliber. If this in fact did happen to me, would I go try to kill this person? And if my decision is a steadfast, yes, I would go try to kill this person, does that make you a bad guy? What do you think?
No.
No.
Elaborate, Chris.
I no, it doesn't make you a bad guy at all.
It's exactly what happened, Ms. B. You're right. He just fucking snapped.
Especially if you have a kid.
Doc, what's your take on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd kill him.
And it's said so casually and so honestly, I think by just about any guy that you would ask. And it's answered so honestly and casually because it's so genuine. It's like, no, that's actually what would happen. I would at least try to take
Yeah.
this predator off the street. Because let's be honest, a sexual crime on a child isn't really about sex, right? It's about eating their innocence, breaking their goodness, taking away everything that makes that child a fucking child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even some moms would want to kill somebody.
Yeah.
I think
Fuck
any
yeah, dude.
parent would want to.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people that would say that, let the justice system take over, but, we'll refer back to Sonny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chick should have been in jail for the rest of her life. That shit's gonna somehow there could be a loophole, you know what I mean? There's so much shit, and depending on the lawyer, how good the lawyer is, easily could be get out of jail. Oh, we'll give him some therapy. It's the first time he
Right.
did it. Oh, it's the first time he got fucking caught doing it. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fucking
No, you're
castrate
absolutely
himself.
fucking right, because a pedophile doesn't just diddle one kid and be like,
No.
whoo, got that out of my system. Moving on with life.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So let's
fuck
see.
that.
If you get a DUI in Indiana, it doesn't matter. You bond out right away and you have a ride home, but you have to sit for 12 hours to sober up. So that's Indiana. That's pretty fucked up. But, a DUI, it really depends on how many offenses you have. Lots of people have driven home after a night and been like, whoa, did I just drive? I didn't know I was this fucked up until it was too late. So, I mean, yeah, because you get hit with a DUI, it's not like, that's a bad boy. It's a bad, don't do that again. No, your insurance rates quadruple for the next 6 fucking years. In some states, you've got to get SR-22 special insurance filings. You've got to pay tens of thousands of dollars in fines to victims' funds. Like, they make you suffer for it. But if you just get a DUI, then yeah, you should be instantly bonded out, forced to sober up first, and then released to face your day in court. I absolutely believe that. If you hit somebody, different story.
Yeah.
Everything goes up. And it's absolutely right. It's protecting the people you care about. Is it right or is it wrong? Well, don't we think maybe as a society, we have chosen to demonize this and forgive that, when maybe more than people want to recognize is more than black and fucking white, where we all live in this giant shade of gray, not in the black or the white. The rest of the world functions right here.
Yeah.
Now, me getting caught for cocaine, selling cocaine. Right. So I don't really have an excuse for that. I got caught red-handed. I was done. That's a pretty serious fucking charge. You're pushing poison on other people who don't need it, but believe they need it. And I deserved what I got. Every time I got caught, I was probably the only addict that I'd ever met who every time I got caught just went to court and owned it. Like, yeah, you got me. So what's next? And then we would deal with what's next. This judge kept giving me break after break, but what's next? Okay. And then finally, what's next happened for me. Well, because Doc, as addicts, we have a million moments of clarity throughout our addiction. They are almost an hour by hour thing in the beginning, our moments of clarity that we ignore. We just put more drugs on top of it. We're going to bury it.
Yes.
But eventually you have that moment of clarity, and that's the one that fucking comes out of right field like Tyson. Bam! Live or die, motherfucker. That's the choice right now. Live or die.
Yeah.
A lot of us choose live.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the majority choose death.
Yeah. That was mine with my coke when I wasn't sniffing, I was smoking. I was fucking smoking crack.
At least you weren't slamming it, dude.
No, I did once, dude. I would never I didn't like it whatsoever. Actually, it was by accident. I was when I bought it.
I spiked cocaine into my vein completely by mistake.
I did. So when I bought it, I said we call in Chicago, heroin was called blows. So when I bought it off a kid, I said, "You got blows?" He's like, "Yeah, I got blow." And I fucking bought it, and I never tasted it. And I put it in, rigged it up, and fucking banged it in my arm, and almost fucking died.
Yeah.
But my clarity was I went to the dentist to get a tooth pulled, and they took my blood pressure, and it was fucking high. And I partied the day before, and they were going to call an ambulance, and I refused it. And then I went to the doctors a few days later, and they took my blood pressure, and they were going to call an ambulance, but then they wound up, I got prescribed or diagnosed as having hypertension. And then upon asking my mom stuff and my dad about, family, I found out that my grandfather, my mom's dad, he died at 42 years old from hypertension, and his father died at 50 of hypertension, and they didn't do drugs. So that was my moment of clarity. I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm never fucking doing that shit again. I chose to live, for sure.
My moment of clarity was much more simple in a sea of complications. Like, I had a girl, and I gave her a key to my place because I had nothing to hide. I didn't need to go out and look for under the radar fucking pussy. I didn't need to do any of that. I had, and she was married.
Yeah.
She was dating the coke dealer. But as we were together for the next 2 fucking years, it kind of turned into something more serious. And she started looking at me as, how can we make something real out of this? And she had a conversation with me one day about, I know you sell drugs and I know you're a felon, but if we're going to turn this into something real, then you've got to stop all that.
Yeah.
And I intended to. I was like, okay, we'll work all this out. And after a particular, it was like a 3-day bender, I finally crashed, and I woke up like a day and a half later. It was gorgeous. The sun was out. The birds were singing. Certain times of the year in Pittsburgh, the weather is absolutely perfect. So you open up your doors and your windows. You just take it in. And I had a big bag of coke that I had yet to step on sitting on my ottoman. I sat down, turned on my TV, saw the bag of coke, and said out loud to the drug, I am just going to sell you. I am not going to do any of you. And I'm waiting for my phone to ring. I turn it back on, and I'm surfing through the channels. And I don't know, not too much later, I suddenly catch myself doing this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I already started, right? So let's get a little bit more going, blah, 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 blah. And I still hadn't cut it yet. So now I'm riding on this really good shit. And then right then, the girlfriend shows up with a bag of fast food. She thought it'd be cute to come by and surprise me with some lunch. As she saw I had full-on margarita nose. There was just no denying it. I was completely thwacked out. And she goes, I just can't dedicate. I got kids. I can't end what I have to somebody who won't quit using drugs. My moment of clarity was the sound of my key hitting a glass table.
Yeah.
That's when I took this big, expensive bag of uncut coke. I called my mom and said, I need you to come pick me up. I need help. Threw my phone and that giant bag of coke in the toilet, never went back to my apartment.
Wow.
Straight to rehab. They got me in right away. So, like, we all have our moments of clarity. And for a lot of these guys we went over, they never really got their moment of clarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, with that being said, I think it's probably time to go ahead and take it home. What you got to plug there, Mr. DOC, Mr. Doc Man?
Defiant Pro Wrestling Incorporated on Facebook. We got a show. It's the second Sunday of January. I should know the date, but it's a while away. But check us out.
In the spirit of full disclosure, I did mention to Misbehaving that one day me and Casanova may show up and jump you. Just so we're all on the same page.
Bring it on.
You just never know when the apocalypse is going to show up. Chris, you got anything to put up in closing, buddy?
I got a show on November 30th. Native Ways. I will be rematch against Fuego Divina.
You're having a rematch against, really?
I am, yes.
You signed that pay? I didn't think you were going to sign. I thought maybe we worked our way around that.
Nope, I signed it. Yep.
And could this be it? After this, can you quit picking on that girl?
We will see what happens.
Like, I get that she shocked you, She shocked you. You weren't ready for what happened, and she snuck a win out on you. I get it. And now pride dictates you've got to go out there and show her who the real fucking wrestler in that match is. I get that too. But
Yeah.
after you beat the shit out of her, it can be done after that, right?
I'm hoping. I can't promise anything.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on WrestleShoot. See you next week. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll figure it the fuck out. We always do
Yeah.
sometimes if